what's the book all about? There's many things you could say, but I usually work with buzzwords. You know what buzzwords are? You get the buzz from them. Like a buzzer, you know, like you ring a bell, bzz, bzz, you buzz. So a buzzword is a word that rings a bell in people's minds, you know. Like, we're not selling books, we're not moving paper here. What is it that you want to give to people? What is it that you like to share with people?
Love.
Love, okay. What do you like to share?
Knowledge, wisdom.
Knowledge, wisdom, yes. What would you like to give to people?
The same.
The same?
Knowledge, wisdom, kindness.
Yes, kindness, that's good.
Krishna's mercy.
Mercy.
Happiness.
Lifestyle.
Lifestyle, happiness.
Mercy.
Mercy.
Friendship.
Friendship. Do people want friendship here? No?
Yes.
They do.
They want.
Okay.
And humor.
Humor.
Yeah.
What else? What's your contribution, brother?
An alternative.
An alternative, yes. It's not just vote for A or vote for B. What about plan C or D or E, you know? There are alternatives. There are options. So, your homework for this weekend is you make a list of all the buzzwords, the things that you value and that you think make a difference in people's lives. And you meditate a little bit on that. And then you choose your words, your mantra, according to your buzzwords. On that, you base it on that. Not on your own little mental construction, how you think you can squeeze people through your mantra machine and make them walk away to the book and give some money at the end. I just work with these buzzwords. They're like mantras, they're like pointed arrows which touch the point, the heart. So, you just use those instead of talking big philosophy. It was so funny in Abidjan, we went out to do Harinam and book distribution. Many were really new at the Shibani books. So they were kind of shy and timid. But then, because they have this syndrome of preacher men, there's a lot of fundamentalist Christians and Muslims who are doing the preaching thing. So the devotees, I saw at least 4 of them. They had a crowd of 20 people around them. They were holding the books in the back. But they were going a mile a minute, you know, like really preaching up a storm to these people. And you can take a picture and then put a caption under it. What is wrong with this picture? Have you ever seen, you know, like pictures like that? What is wrong with this picture? Like something's wrong here. So what is wrong with it? First of all, if the book is in your hand, it will stay in your hand. You have to put the book in the person's hand. If they refuse to take it or to touch it, I wish you a wonderful day. Thanks for your time. And you move to another person. If you're not even willing to hold the book that I would like to show you, that means it's not going to happen. Not in a million years. So move on to the next person. Okay? As a rule of thumb, in 99.9% of the cases, if the people are not willing to even look at your book, just move on. Wish them a nice day. So put the book in the people's hands and don't wave your finger at anybody or anything. People don't like the finger waving type, right? It's kind of out fashion, you know, because they have some, either from their parents or from school or from, there's some traumatic or not so nice pictures, memories associated with that. So the finger doesn't move, you know, it doesn't go out there like that. What else? To actually ask people relevant questions. Things that are related to them. Like I ask everybody, what do you work or what do you study? People love to talk about themselves. It's the sweetest language in any, the sweetest sound in any language of the world is the sound of your own voice. When you get the chance to speak about yourself. That's like a sure way how to really blow devotees out. Like it's 9 o'clock and everybody's supposed to take prasadam, and then somebody asks the speaker, how did you come to Krishna consciousness? And you know, oh, okay. Alright, it's going to be another half hour. He's going to lay out the whole story like that. So you have to know to do that with tact, give people a chance to say something, but concise. Like, what is it? What's your job? What do you do? You can say that in 3 words, right? So you do that, and then you move on. Or you ask people, do you like your job? Or are you good at it? Huh? So then I usually ask people, so do you like people? I ask people what they like, and they will tell me about it. And then you connect the book to the person. There has to be a connection. You have to make that bridge, so people can actually realize there is something in it for me. I can gain something from this. Like there's happiness, friendship, wisdom, mercy, love, all that. That's great stuff. I like that. But to make it even more personable, you ask person questions about themselves. And then you show them how this book will actually give them what they're looking for in life. That's the art of Sankirtana. If you master this art, people won't refuse you. For the most part. They will still try, but it will make it more difficult for them to refuse you. So, we're coming to the practical part, and we have questions.
What would then would be your difference in presenting, for example, a Bhagavad Gita to a first canto or a fifth canto?
Same thing, same thing.
Yes.
Slightly different variation about the book, but otherwise same thing.
Yeah. But how do you present it? Like, what do you usually, when you're standing there with 2, 3, 5 books, what can you just not just present it, what you're saying?
I just take the next book from the stack, you know, whatever is next, I just take that and hand that to the person. Because I know that's the perfect book for that person, because that's the book that was on top of the pile. So that's how I know that it's the perfect book for you. There's no chance. Of course, sometimes you have to be considerate. The person wants this one, wants that one, is interested in this or interested in that. I have my general presentation, but then I vary according to the person, and I just, it moves in different ways, like that. There's a lot of things that you can say. There's many things. I've just given you basic structure, basic guidelines. Like we're talking here, principles, not details. Details, you're smart enough. You're chanting Hare Krishna. Krishna reveals to you all the details, all the things that you can say like that. If I tell you the mantras that I'm using, they might not be work for you. So okay, I'll tell you a few. But don't, you know, I give a disclaimer. Don't blame me if it doesn't work. Like I see 3 young guys, they're walking across the square. There's no way of me going up there and doing, you know, just a simple, humble presentation to them. They will just brush me aside, because I can see from the way how they move, the way how they talk, that they're the average, arrogant, wannabe, you know. So I walk up to them and I say, hey guys, are you rock stars, regular losers, or happy human beings? And they're like, so one usually says, I'm a rock star. Usually one guy says, I'm a regular loser. And 1 or 2 says, I'm a happy human being. So I say, oh, that's wonderful, you're qualified. And then, boom, tak, 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 put the book in everybody's hand. But it gives them something to think about, something to chew about, like that. So that's a pretty aggressive opener for a conversation. You have to know how to diffuse it. If people are like, what do you mean, like that, you're like, oh, it's just a joke, you know, it's just, I want to see whether you're in a good mood, like that. You have to be quite in touch with yourself if you want to present things like that. There's other things you can say, but again, it's very individual. Like,
it's very sweet. I mean,
yeah, you can try, but if it doesn't work, drop it. There's so many mantras you can use. If you feel that you're being too general and not being really recognized, and people don't really connect with you, then most likely it's because we're not connected with our own selves. We're not really in touch with reality. And we need to really focus, and we need to hear the holy name. We need to actually be Krishna conscious, be present in the moment. We're somewhere else. We're not really fully here. Like when you're cutting potatoes, you have to be, you know, if you want to put all those potatoes on that big knife, without cutting yourself and without throwing them on the ground, you have to be somewhat conscious, right? You have to be conscious before you're Krishna conscious. In the same way when you're in Sankirtana, you have to be conscious, you have to be alert, you have to be actually there in the moment. That's why book distribution is a wonderful therapy. People ask me after 30 years, why you still go out and distribute books? I say, well, you know, it's the Yuga Dharma, Prabhupada wanted it, there's so many good reasons. But you know what? Everybody needs their therapy. So this is my therapy. Because for me, this is medicine. This is Sankirtan Yoga. This is how I feel connected with the mercy of the Lord. So, to really become conscious. Sometimes I see devotees that are just out there showing the books and kind of half-heartedly, and it doesn't really connect. You can see the people are not impressed, we're not impressed, and nobody's impressed, so nothing happens. It's just like a dead fish in the pond. It doesn't go anywhere. So, then you need to get out of comfort zone, put a little spice in, and become a little, yes.
So there's like, you can be too hesitant, but you can also be, as I see it, sometimes a little too eager.
Too eager, too aggressive, too forceful.
Yeah, to the point that you want to follow the person and run after the person.
Oh yeah, no way, no chance. It's not appreciated, especially here.
Yeah, I just see that, no, it's not appreciated, because people, they kind of test you. They take those 2 steps.
Yeah.
If you don't stop them right there, they take a couple of steps. And they see on your body what you're going to do. So if you're too eager, they're going to say, no, he's too eager, you know. He's already there, he's pushy, you know, he's going after me.
But if you stay where you are, and you say this is for all intelligent and nice people, are you one of the nice people? And you just, you know, it's up to you, man. I'm here, you know. You want me, you come over here. And then either they come or they don't. And that's as simple as that. And you know what? There's 5 million of them out there. So don't run after anybody. Somebody doesn't appreciate what you got, tough luck. Turn around. Somebody's already looking and smiling at you. But if you run after this kid, then you will miss that one. And that's what happens. Anytime you run after anybody, stop right in your tracks. Remember this. Turn your head around. 90 or 180 degrees. Somebody's already looking at you and smiling and waiting. But because they think, oh, he's running after that kid, so no, okay, and then they walk away and that guy walks away, and you lost them both. Sometimes it happens, you make a move and then you look around and then you see, oh, missed this one, missed that one. So the goal is not to miss anybody. Don't let anybody escape. That's why it's so wonderful when we go out in numbers, because literally, we can get to the point where nobody will escape. Especially here, because it's not that big crowds, there's not that many people moving around. So if the devotees are doing their job nicely, somebody will be able to make a positive impression on that person. Like yesterday you saw in the square, people got affected. I mean, they noticed that we were there. And they had a positive impression. Even though some chose to avoid us, but still they recognized us in a positive way. So don't be in a needy, in a clinging, in a pushy way like that. That's the other side of, you know, of attachment. Like there's the, oh, I'm too fallen, I'm too useless, and I can't do this. Or there's the, no, you have to take this right now from me. Like that. It's not what people like. And it means we're not Krishna conscious. We're not depending on Krishna. We think, I'm the doer, and the person has to take and appreciate because it's me, you know. I made this effort now. And people will say no. People will come to the point where they say, you know what? I want this book, but I'm not going to buy it from you. Because I don't like the way how you talk to me. Have you ever had that? That's good for the ego. Krishna, why are you doing this to me? Because Krishna is very kind, he's very considerate. He knows exactly what we need, what medicine we need. No, I'll get it from that girl over there, I'll get it from that guy over there. And then they go and buy a book from that guy. So Krishna gives us these messages. Sometimes more subtle and sometimes a little more direct. Any other questions? Yes.
Maybe I can ask the prashadam distribution. It's probably a little bit different approach, I guess.
How to approach people with prashadam?
Yeah.
Yeah, same thing. Same thing. You can't go up to people and say, hey, you must eat this, you know. People are, no, I don't. Like, they may not be hungry. But if you're smiling and you're, hey, how are you guys doing, you know, we're giving this today to all the nice people here, like that, they won't refuse you. You know, to be non-threatening, to just want to give something to somebody.
Oh, yeah, I'm sorry, but I was actually thinking about the selling of the prashadam because here in Denmark I got the feedback that if I give them the prashadam in the hand, then most of them, maybe 20%, they think that they get it for free. They feel, I got the feedback, they feel slightly offended if I give it in the hand because, and then I ask for donation afterwards.
Yeah, that's a psychological response. So, like I was talking about free distribution now because we did the halava yesterday. But if you're giving, I mean, you're selling prashadam like cookies, I will go straight out and tell people that this is what I do when people give donations. Immediately mention the money part.
Yeah, I do that now.
And then people are not confused. Whoa, you give this to me and then you want money. Because you can kind of psychologically coerce people. You know what coercing means? To coerce?
No.
Can somebody give the English explanation of coercing? You force somebody to do something, and you do it in such a way that they kind of... To coerce means you actually put pressure on them, but you do it in a nice way. Or in a not so nice way, depending. But you do it psychologically, you know, like through your presentation, like that. People don't like it. If you actually leave them that freedom, and especially here, am I right? Especially here, people want that you respect their freedom, because that's what this culture is all about, right? I do what I do because it's my freedom. It was my choice, right? So if you respect my choice, then I like you. But if you don't respect my choice, I'm going to hate you. So we have to leave people the freedom to say, no, I don't want that. And you have to be okay with that. You have to be cool with that. And just take it and walk away. Otherwise, they will get very upset with you. If they feel that you're coercing, that you're really, in a very forceful way, trying to do that. Now you can be very forceful in a very positive and inspired and Krishna conscious way, but you don't put the pressure on them. You push yourself, you don't push the people. That's the art. So make it clear. Tell them right out, this is what it is, and people give donations. And then put it in their hand. Okay? Yes.
There's I mean, it's, you can say it's a technique, but in your presentation and how you present yourself, that there's the timing has to be right.
Oh yeah.
That you put it into the hand of the person, whether it's a book or a prashadam, and at the point where you kind of see that they're going for it, then you time your, your presentation of, the donation thing. Sure. That when they grab it, it's kind of, but in such a way that they don't notice that it's timed. That it just,
it has to be natural. It just has to be a natural thing that you just tell people. And if you don't have a problem with it, they don't have a problem with it. But if you have a problem with the money part, they will have a problem with it too. Because they can sense it. They look at you and they feel all the question marks and all the doubts that you have. Now, I'm sure, I'm not saying this to you, I'm just saying this as a general statement, that we all have doubts, we all have certain insecurities. And on Sankirtan, these things they come out, you know. We get aware, painfully aware of our own doubts and our own insecurities. And that's why sometimes it's hard for devotees to go on continuously on doing Sankirtan. Because you're continuously reminded about your shortcomings. Like in your job also, I'm sure, that when you're dealing with people, they remind you of your own shortcomings. You get to your limit and you're tested, you know. And your own insecurities are magnified. Sometimes by seeing the same problem in other people, sometimes by people addressing your own problem and saying, I don't like this, you know, and they just poke their finger right there, like that. And sometimes Krishna in a very big way, just really making it evident to us. So, but that's wonderful, because it really shows us where we're at and how we can improve, how we can actually evolve. People spend huge amounts of money to go to therapists and counselors and trainers and psychologists and shrinks and seminars and whatnot to figure out who they are and what they want to do in life and how they can go where they want to go. And we say, just go on Sankirtan and everything will be revealed to you, you know. Just go out on the street, just chant and dance, just start talking to people. Krishna will show you where are your strong sides, where are your weak sides, where you have to develop yourself. And you can develop. I've seen devotees who were introverted, shy, timid, could hardly say a sentence straight, and just by doing it for some time, they became transformed. They changed. It's possible. And remember, you have to smile. Because like right now, you kind of have this tendency to frown a little bit, you know, frowning.
Yeah, yeah.
And it looks like a mixture between being doubtful or being skeptical or being kind of, you know, uncomfortable. And people just cannot relate to that so much. But when they see, oh, this is a happy face, they think like, yeah, I would like to eat your cookies, you know. So, or take your book. Because we are the practical proof of the process. They can't judge the philosophy. They can't, because they haven't read it. But they can look at your face, and they can tell you pretty sure whether this is adding up or it's not adding up. So they look at the book, they look at you, they look at the book, they look at you. If it doesn't match, it's no go. I'm not going for it. It's very simple. So if it says, if you're telling me love and peace and happiness and all that, but the impression I'm getting from you is stress, anxiety, depression, doubts, psychosis, neurosis, and agony, you know. No, I'm just not here because we have to do this, you know, because otherwise, ... whatever. Then people, they sense that. And I know it's a challenge because you may have a different nature. Some of us, as I said, might be more introvert, maybe a little more thoughtful about life, maybe a little more doubtful. But, you know, we have to, Krishna consciousness really means to develop this simplicity, to be simple at heart. Doesn't mean that you live in La La Land and you walk around with a big smile and a big grin on your face. You know? Would you like to be blissed out? You know, we have some bliss music here, some bliss food here, some bliss books here. And they're like, my God, you know, let's call 911, you know, let's call the funny farm, you know. You gotta feel those guys down here, you know, get them out, you know. You have to be what people consider in the realm of sanity. I mean, we know everybody's crazy in one way or the other, but we have to conform or present ourselves in a way that people can relate to us. Yes?
I had a guy yesterday, two guys, and one of them was kind of a prankster. I showed him a second canto, and Mahavishnu lying there, introducing universes, and he's like, "Who's the blue guy?" And I was like, just pretty straightforward. That's God. And Krishna is on top, like emanating from the Jyoti and all this. So we asked, "Oh, is this like his mother?" And so he was like, in a joking mood and making fun of the books and stuff like that. So how do you deal with that? Do you just like brush him off and go on to the next one?
Well, usually, when it's obvious that the person is not really serious, there's different things you can do. Like you can either just be very sober. What I usually try to do is I say these books are for intelligent people. I ask them, what do you do? You say, I'm a student. You say, oh, that means you know how to read and write? Or you just know somebody who knows how to read and write, you know? So, and then I just go on talking. I don't even wait till they laugh or say anything. I just continue. So either they pick up on it or they don't. But usually to put them in their place directly doesn't really work much, because if the person has such a big sense of insecurity that they need to do all those things, you know, it already shows that they got a problem, they got issues. So sometimes you can just take the joke and take it lightly and just not even register it, you know, and you just carry on with your presentation. And they will see that he's alright, he's not impressed, you know, with my little spiel, with my little act here. And sometimes they sober up, they actually become normal, they become quite sweet.
They actually also came back to the book later.
Yeah, because you didn't get offended or upset, you didn't blast him, you know. So sometimes you just have to take a little obstruction, you know, and not get too worked up about it, like that.
But I was just wondering, because I heard like people, they are blaspheming.
No, that's not really blasphemy. It's more, you know, like Jaga and Madai, they were too drunk, they were too intoxicated to offend Vaishnavas. Even though they were doing all kinds of terrible things, but they were too out of it. So for the most part, people, they're not really offensive, they're just their own usual obnoxious selves. But it's not directed at anything in particular. So we shouldn't give them more affront, we shouldn't give them more reason why to be against us or against the books. So I just try to stay neutral and calm, like that. But usually chastising or challenging them does not have so much chance of succeeding. Do you have some other type of strategy? Any other questions? Any other points? Then as far as strategy goes, you have a temple here, you want to bring as many people here. So take names, take contacts, and invite people, and regularly interact with them. It's not just about going out. The success of our preaching is not just how many books we distribute, but it's how many people want to come back and want to have some interaction with us. So the follow-up is very often it's underestimated. But a farmer who doesn't harvest is not a very smart farmer. So we have to really put some effort, thought into that, how we can follow up with people. There's so many interested people, so take their name, their phone number, their email, have somebody who sends out invitations, interacts with them. It does make a big difference. You had a point.
Yeah, I was just wondering, what is your, in between the conversations, meditation?
I don't meditate. I just go from person to person. There's no in between. It's just like, what do you think between each potato that you cut, you know? Do you think? No. You space that.